A warm good morning to my respected teachers, dear friends, and to everyone who are listening me in this online platform. Today, I wish to recite the poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, written by the famous American poet Robert Frost. Robert Frost was a very famous poet who had been awarded the Pulitzer Prize 4 times in his life. He was born in 1874 in San Francisco, California, US. He is well known for his depictions of village life in New England, his grasp of American colloquial speech, and his poetry about ordinary people in everyday situations. His notable works include The Road Not Taken, The Death of the Hired Man, Mending Wall, The Gift Outright, and many more. Robert Frost once said, "A poem begins in delight and ends in wisdom." He died on January 29, 1963, at Boston. Now, let us go through the poem. Whose woods these are? I think I know. His house is in the village store. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sound, the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Now, a few words to understand the poem. The poem was written to capture the conflict between man and nature. The poem highlights the difference between wishes and obligations we face in our lives. As the poem is about nature, it has been written from the perspective of an adult who stops by the woods to enjoy the mesmerizing beauty of the nature. The expression of stopping given in the first stanza continues until the traveler decides to restart his journey. The traveler wants to take a moment to pause in the quiet woods to watch the snow falling. He says he knows whose woods are these, but he is sure the owner of the woods will not notice his presence because he is in the village. He is tempted to stay longer, but the pull of duties and covering distance force him to leave the woods. As he says that he has to travel a lot, it means he has to perform a lot of duties and responsibilities. Therefore, he puts his wishes aside and starts his journey again. This poem is about the boundaries and limits in which human beings pass their lives and which do not allow them to get diverted from their respective paths. The poem is a simple and innocent composition points to the reality of making decisions in complex situations in order to perform our obligations. Thanking you all. Have a nice day.